going to get into a foundation routine. Um, oh, wait, if you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you're not new here, thank you for coming back. Um, we are going to get into a foundation routine. So you'll see me apply all of the makeup. I'm using NYX or NYX Professionals, NYX Cosmetics, Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation and concealer. So you'll be able to see me apply that. And yeah, so all the products will be linked down. I will try to link everything down in the description box. And yeah, so let's get into it. So I did all of that talking and I wasn't even recording. You always want to start with a primer to kind of get your base. But prior to that, you always want to make sure your skin is clean and moisturized. Whatever moisturize that you choose. I personally, right now, I'm using an oil, almond oil, but I do want to get into more skincare stuff. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. But I also want to visit a aesthetician. I think I got it this time. Just to make sure that my skin is evening out. I have some problem areas. I deal with a lot of hyperpigmentation because I tend to pick at my skin when I have breakouts. Especially, usually I have like a lot more hormonal breakouts, like around my period and stuff. So, and then with that, get a little anxious, start doing some things that you shouldn't be doing, and then boom, like this one right here. I'm looking at my mirror right here, so if you catch me drifting off, that's what I'm doing. But I like to put primer in my T-zone area because that's usually where I get the most oily. But sometimes I put it on the outside if I know that I'm going to be out and about for a while. Going to the mall or going to the store, going to a function or whatever. And I need it to last me for a good bit of time. So I like to add this all over, but right now I'll just put it on my T-zone, focus it on my T-zone, and also on my upper lip. I don't know about y'all, but I tend to sweat really bad on my upper lip. It's something that's been going on ever since I was a little kid. So, um, yeah. So always use a primer. If you have drier skin, I would suggest you using a more moisturizing primer. If you have oily skin like I do or combination skin, I would definitely suggest using a more mattifying primer. And this one, if I haven't said it already, I can't remember, is the Infallible Interlock primer in the, I guess, shade 120. It doesn't really leave like a cast or anything, so we're good to go. And then after that, I am going to be putting on my foundation. I'm not one of those people who put powder under my foundation. One day I'll try it, but today we're doing my routine, the one that I usually stick to. All right. So I have this Morphe M439 brush. I personally like this brush. Sometimes I use my beauty blender, but I've been getting really good results with using a brush to brush in my foundation, especially if I'm mixing foundations, which I probably should do today, but we're gonna. NYX is the star of the show, so. Oh, and this is in the shade Warm Walnut. Has a lot of little digits on there. I can't really see it, but Warm Walnut is the shade today. It's a full coverage foundation, so if you are new to wearing foundation, full coverage, definitely takes some getting used to because sometimes it can get a little cakey, but I always say start with a little and then build your way up because you never want to start too much and then end up with something going on that you cannot fix. So I like to put this on the back of my hand. See, I just put a lid, like just a teeny tiny bit, and then I will work my way up, upwards, just to make sure that it's not um, too much. I don't know, too thick, I guess. Too much, too thick. So I like to start at the bottom, work it in. When I say the bottom, I mean my chin. Um, I don't have my table with me. I could have used work smarter, not harder. And just keep on. I like to add just a little bit on my nose. It is very warm. This shade is very warm, but it's fine. You never want your foundation to look like a mask. I feel like you can hear my earring just clanking against my microphone. But yeah, but jack it down. I used to not jack it down because my eczema was really bad here, so I would stop at my chin. But now my eczema is not too bad, so I think it's safe to put it down there for right now. And then I like to add just a tad bit on my forehead. Um, all right, so now that I'm looking very flat, I like to conceal my face because if you just do foundation, it tends to just look. You see how I have like an egg situation here. Um, some people do this. I'm not really one of those people, and I get called dramatic for it. Um, but I tend to like to add a little bit of concealer under my eyes. I conceal. I'm using the shade Mocha, also in the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. Yeah, this is Mocha in the Can't Stop Won't Stop line. I conceal under my eyes, a little bit just to highlight my forehead, down the bridge of my nose. Depending on how I'm feeling, I will do my Cupid's bow and then on my chin because like that's usually where the light tends to hit you when you're taking pictures. So if I'm taking pictures, I would probably go a little lighter than this if I'm like trying to do something a little bit more dramatic. But for everyday, Mocha is definitely my go-to shade. Like going to work or going to a party if I'm not trying to do too much, you know. So I definitely, depending on how I'm feeling, I will do just a little swipe. Here, and then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Yeah, and then of course add some. I like to add some to the tip of my nose, on the bridge of my nose, just a little bit on my forehead, on my lip, Cupid's bow, and on my chin. I know there's some people who like to let it sit for a little bit and kind of let it stay on there. I like to do that too, especially if I'm not in a rush and I'm just like taking my time and getting ready, got my music going. I definitely like to like let it sit, kind of let it kind of cook it, let it bake. and and now I'm going to use another Morphe brush here. It doesn't have a number on there, so I'm not sure what the number is. I got it in a set, and I'm going to use this to blend in my concealer. I like to start with my nose because there's not really a lot there. Blend that in. I used to use my beauty blender to blend it in too, but when I noticed that it was actually taking off a lot of what's it called? It was just taking a lot of makeup off, and I'm like, I pay enough money for this stuff. I'm gonna need all of that to be on my face. That in on my chin. So I like to make sure it's blended into like my desired amount. And all right, so if you are one of those people who do not like to wear a whole lot of makeup, I would not suggest stopping right here. I say this because some people who don't wear a lot of makeup frown upon using powders. And it can be a little tricky when it comes to powders because and sometimes not all powders are created equally. And sometimes you can get a little bit of flashback from using certain powders, and it sucks because if if you don't know, sometimes you won't know until you try it, and then you try it and then you go out and wear it. You look at your face and you're just like, whoa. But I am going to use, this is kind of old, but another NYX product, using the Set It Don't Fret It matte finishing powder in the shade medium dark. See, it looks pretty light, but make sure I was recording. But yeah, I like to use my beauty blender is now stained. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure why. Or maybe I'm just not using. I just use regular dish soap to clean it. So maybe it's just not getting all of the makeup off. But yeah. But make sure your beauty blender is damp if you are using one. You can use a brush, but I personally like to use a beauty. I like to use the blender. It's just easier. in my opinion. So I like to set all of the places that I highlighted, and so I highlighted my under my eyes, hit that nose, hit my other parts. And then boom. I do let it sit, not for very long, usually until I bronze. Um, Usually until I'm bronze, just to help kind of get it to kind of cook a little bit. So after that, I like to use, I don't really contour. I used to, but it became a lot. So I like to use, where's that brush? Um, Another Morphe brush. Is not sponsored, but I like to use another Morphe brush to bronze my skin. This is a really old bronzer to a point where it doesn't even have I can't even tell you what the thing is, but it's made by Shea Moisture. At one point, they used to, I don't know if they still have their makeup line, um, but I like to use this to bronze. When I bronze, I kind of use it in the places where I would typically, um, what's it called? I would typically contour. So I like to put on my forehead just to kind of bring back a little bit of warmth into my face. And, so it's not so flat. The thing is about makeup, and the different types of product is to add dimension into your face. So like if you only use one color, it's going to look flatter than if you use different colors to kind of like offset one another. Because now that you're starting to see the warmth kind of come back, you'll start seeing like my cheekbones, you'll see my jawline, you'll see, where I highlighted at for that particular reason. I do not contour my nose. I will, I mean, I guess I could talk about it, but I used to be a little bit more conscious about my nose because it's a little bit on the bigger side. I'm not even going to act like it's not. But after my grandma passed away, I literally have like my grandma's face. So like after that, I just kind of like just took a little bit more pride in like in my features because she was always very proud of what she looked like, and she was always very proud that I looked like her. Um, my grandma looks like my mom looks like my grandma. I look like my mom, who also looks like my grandma. So um, I am starting to take a little bit more pride in also just dusting off all of that excess powder. Just taking a little bit more pride in like my black ass features. And like I know there's a little bit of bias when it comes to, especially on the internet, when it comes to like featureism and stuff like that. But I'm just going to embrace it because there's probably another little girl out there who felt the way I felt growing up. So if I'm proud and I'm happy in like my features and stuff, then I want to show other girls or other women that they can be proud in like their features, and they don't have to change it if they don't want to. If they don't, you shouldn't feel pressured to change yourself. Yeah, you just shouldn't feel pressure to like change the way you look because of like, you know, societal standards of beauty, which often changes. So like you change yourself to look one way, and in 5 years, it doesn't even matter because we define other things to be beautiful now. So that was my little spiel about that. But so, what else do I need to do? It feels so weird because at this point I would have my brows on, and now that I don't have my brows on, I feel naked. But I'm gonna do that. So give me a second. Well, no, actually, I guess I could get into highlight. So I like to use another really old product to highlight my skin. Do I have my blush in here too? This is ColourPop's Cosmetics Super Shock highlighter. I've used it a lot because it's one of my favorite. Anytime I wear this, I get a lot of compliments on it because of how subtle it is. But I remember once upon a time when the girls used to go crazy over some highlights, okay? And I was one of them. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. But I'm now turned it down just a smidge, just a smidge. So I use a little bit, put it on the tip of my nose, because once again, highlight is supposed to catch the light. So like the things that you highlight are going to be a little bit more accentuated. So I like to put this on the tip of my nose, on the bridge of my nose, and on my cupid's bow. I have thoughts about fan brushes, but I'm going to use it today. So I hit that right here. Blend it out just a little bit. And if you ever hit the highlight just a little too hard, I like to take like my... I just realized I didn't put any powder on. Just take a little bit of like either my contour or my face powder that I put all over, and just hit it a little bit, and that should help kind of blend it in. But yeah, and also I'll just add it on top. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So I like to use my Cover FX pressed mineral foundation in the color N100, and I like to put this kind of all over my face. I like to press this into my skin. I don't want to, if I can find my, take the bottom of my, beauty blender and just press it into the skin. Just press it in. Boom. Boom. good to go. So I am going to do my brows and whoa. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. As you can see, I added a little bit of eyebrow, a little bit of lip gloss. I was going to do lashes, but I wasn't feeling like doing all of that. So maybe next time. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the description box below. And if you like this video, please like this video, share this video if you care, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.